Morning at NTV. We get into the conversations of the day. Our tech note is going to be looking at the climate resilience and environmental management. I am Priscilla Regina Naluoga. Now, since the inception of the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area Urban Development Program, Mukono Municipal Council has undertaken a number of activities where it has registered tremendous success over time. For the financial year 2024-2025, municipal budget stood at 58 billion Ugandan shillings, of which 3 billion was immediate sustainable goals and 54 billion Ugandan shillings in the Millennium Development Goals. By April 2025, the municipal had received 2 billion under the ISG and 30 billion that is under the MDGs, and then 1 billion representing 64% of the warranted funds under the ISG that have been utilized. Now, 36% of the planned activities under the ISG have been committed. Now we get to project the future and retrieve the progress as well as the process and the achievements of the climate change initiatives, and also put into consideration what we would call environmental protection precautions, starting with Mukono as the greater metropolitan area of focus this morning. To have this discussion with me in depth, I do have George William Masengere, Senior Environment Officer with the Municipal Council in Mukono. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Priscilla.
How is Mukono?
Mukono is great.
Yeah. Let's talk about the growth that you have realized for Mukono at the Municipal Council level.
Yeah, we are grateful to the government of Uganda who thought it important to conceive the idea of the Greater Kampala Urban Development Program. The Urban Development Program has 3 core pillars, which today I will focus my attention to. One is infrastructure development, which looks at roads, bridges, and all infrastructure-related activities. That looks at improving mobility and alleviating traffic congestion. Then the other pillar that is also very important for me is urban resilience. When we talk about urban resilience, we are looking at climate change, adaptation, and resilience, and then capacity building. Then we also talk about environmental management. That is in the space of waste management. We are looking at revegetation, we are looking at drainage management, we are looking at pollution control, and then degradation of ecosystems.
Okay.
Then, another pillar that is also very important is job creation, because through job creation you realize that majority of the lower income earners at the lower pyramid, they are the people that contribute to degradation because of the consumptive natures of the activities, and as they are trying to derive a living out of the activities, they're impacting on the environment greatly. So when you talk about job creation, we are saying how can we create those clean jobs that can support the livelihood of our people and the local economy, at the same time conserving the environment.
All right. Yeah. So I know that many parts of Mukono are under construction right now. Let's talk about the progress that we are seeing. What's the infrastructure project progress as far as the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area Urban Development Program is concerned?
Yeah, thank you very much. I believe Mukono and Kira, we are implementing the flagship program, projects of the program. That is for Mukono, we have about 18 kilometers. The 18 kilometers are spanning from under lot 2. We have from Katosi Road along Chikoza, Anthony, Kame, then it goes through Albert Cook, and then we have Nabuti, then back to Ginger Road. And for us as Mukono, we are privileged that we will be launching our finished road at the end of this month. And that is from Nabuti Road, connecting to admin, our offices, the municipal offices, and then Albert Cook, crossing back to district administration, and then joining back Ginger Road. That is one that is handled by Quadruple C. That is the Chinese construction company, communications construction company. Then under lot 3, that is by Starling, which is stretching from Nasuti, Nakabago, and then it also crosses through Bajo. That is at a range of about 48%. But we believe that stretch will not be achieved, realized the whole of it in this period, this financial year, because we have a contract that is running for 18 months, and so far we have run about 11 months. We believe maybe at the end of the 18 months, all deliverables will be ready and up and running.
Okay. All right. You did make mention of environmental changes in management. Let's talk about environmental resilience. As a Mukono municipality and at the town council element, what are the key environmental challenges that you have continuously been facing?
Yeah, of course, when you talk about environmental management and the challenges, you cannot skip talking about waste management. As a country, you know, waste management has been in the media for quite some time, borrowing a leaf from what has happened in Chitezi, and we are still grappling with it. So that's an urban challenge world over, waste management. Mukono, we are not unique to that. We are also faced with it. But as Mukono, we have planned quite extensively, and we have robust systems that are trying to address the challenge of waste management. I remember when the Chitezi incident struck, Mukono was identified as a place where all waste generated within KCCA would be directed towards Mukono in a place called Katikolo. And we have been running that since 2009. For us, our method of managing waste is quite different from what is happening in other areas. We're not just dumping, we're doing composting. We had a program that was run between NEMA and the World Bank, though it was a CDM project. CDM, we mean, it's a clean development mechanism. It's climate change related, because we are composting while reducing emission of greenhouse gases, and then we won about 2 cycles of carbon credit. So that is one area. The other area, when you talk about Mukono, is pollution, air pollution. And that means you're talking about Namamve being the biggest percentage in Mukono municipality. It means you need to manage air pollution.
The industrialization is growing.
Then the other one would be drainage, because you see, we have wetlands located within Mukono, and wetlands are supposed to store water, and with a rate of degradation. So you need to look at how floods can be managed that are happening within our areas, and we have communities that are living in low-lying areas, so you have to protect them by working on drainage.
Okay.
The other one is in the space of environmental management would be noise. Noise, because in urban centers, noise is a big issue, and then we are trying to develop strategies and plans on how to see how we can address such challenges. All right.
Speaking of drainage, how are you addressing the drainage, especially under the program that is running right now?
Yeah, under the program, I've mentioned the 2 lots, Lot 2 and Lot 3. We developed a drainage master plan that covers the 2 lots plus our waste management facility, because the waste management facility we intend to have, according to our strategy, we intend to have a fecal sludge treatment plant. Now, that fecal sludge treatment plant, and in the future we intend also to have a sewage treatment plant. And sewage treatment looks at drainage, looks at gravitation flow, because it's very expensive if you are to pump sewage up gravity, against gravity. So that's why we decided, we say, now we are making standard roads. After making standard roads, then we also do a tenant drainage infrastructure along. So we developed a drainage master plan that looks at the 2 lots, that is corridor of Lot 2, and then corridor of Lot 3, and then also our Katikolo, the waste management site that looks at waste management, with the intention of saying, how can we sustain these roads for quite some time? If you address the drainage challenges, you will achieve the longevity of the road that is planned.
Okay. Still looking at environmental concerns, I know that in the environmental component, we have to put into consideration the climate that is constantly changing right now for us as a country. Then you also have to look into the terrain, and the terrain in Mukono, has both higher levels and lower levels. And so it begs the question, when it comes to elements like sanitation, how are you managing those in sight of the current climate change?
Yeah, of course, for starters, we began by developing plans. As Mukono, we have a solid waste management plan, we have a fecal sludge management plan, and we also have a sanitation physical plan. We also have a physical development plan for the entire Mukono. That means we are saying where we have low areas, we have planned and we have designed toilet facilities, water provision facilities that are different and unique for that kind of environment. Then where we have high levels, the upstream, we have also, in our plan, we have identified them and then also developed solutions that meet the needs of the people that are living upstream. Then as part of sanitation, because when you address fecal sludge, when you address water provision, when you address drainage, when you address also solid waste, you're also addressing sanitation. We are grateful to several partners that have come on board in Mukono. We are grateful to GKMA, that is Global Green Growth Institute, who have financed us to develop our strategy for solid waste and fecal sludge management. And also we have gone ahead to develop a treatment plant of over 700 cubic meters of capacity, like the one of Rubiji, to be able to treat our fecal sludge that is generated within our people. Remember, Priscilla, apart from KCCA, that is Bugolobi, there is no place that has a sewage treatment facility in the greater Kampala. So we believe if you position the fecal sludge treatment plant in Mukono, you will address the needs of the likes of Rugazi, the likes of Ntenjeru, the likes of Kayunga, the likes of Nachifuma, within that kind of radius, and even part of Chira would go and direct all their fecal sludge needs into Mukono. So we believe if that is up and running, and so far for us as Mukono, we are grateful to government. Government has financed us in this next financial year. We have gotten money from government of Uganda to finance expansion of the land where we will sit the plant, and we have designs for that facility. We have feasibility studies, we have BOQs. All we are waiting for is funds to implement the program. So in sanitation, I think we have moved a mile in that regard, as we are waiting for other things to come on board.
All right, George, so the government has done its due diligence. As a municipality, you're doing your due diligence. But also there's a player that we have to put into consideration, the people of Mukono, the residents of Mukono, the people who do business in Mukono, the industries that are in Mukono. How are you bringing them on board to actually ensure that there's sustainability of the projects and programs that you're talking about? Because if they're not doing their part, then it's going to be difficult for you to actually dispense your part at municipality level, and then of course getting funding can be another challenge altogether.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's very good. When we are implementing the Greater Kampala Urban Development Program, there is a component called ISG, that is Institutional Strengthening Grant. Utilizing that Institutional Strengthening Grant, as Mukono in the first year, we focused on development of the physical development plan, and we also focused on boosting our revenue source, that is financing property valuation. And within our implementation, we made sure that 30% is allocated into activities that can pull out the different players and to be able to respond to the component of the environment. And sanitation is one thing that we believe we can address most of the concern in the space of environment. So we said, let's map out the best practices within the industrial park that look at sanitation, that look at climate resilience, that looks at environmental management. Like for example, if people have conserved, like what you see around Renzori, what Renzori did is to make sure the water, instead of burying it, they created percolation spaces and allowed that water to accumulate in a certain pool, and then allow biodiversity to thrive into the kind of the environment. So we feel we mapped out those ones and then said, identified them, and then we also move ahead to say, please promote this, do not degrade this, let it be a good practice that we can promote going forward. Still in the space of sanitation, the good technologies that people are employing, we're also embracing them. One example is UCU, which is a private institution, and it is pumping water, and it is having a treatment facility to manage the waste that they generate within internally. And also we are also promoting, because we believe private sector is the best engine for developing whatever solutions you're coming up with, because they have money, they have the technical know-how, and they are faster in terms of decision making. So we feel we bring them on board and they are participating in all that we are developing. We give them a hand to be able to support us. Recently we had a competition for schools where we invited over 30 schools, and the themes were on climate resilience, gender and climate change. We had also things to do with sanitation and water, droughts, and then we also looked at solid waste management. And schools were very positive, both private and public. So we feel once this gospel and the campaign is amplified, we believe people will adopt, and then other players will also come on board.
All right, so you have mentioned different programs that are in the pipeline. It begs the question, what is the future of Mukono Municipality, especially as far as socio-economic growth is concerned, and also climate resilience?
Yeah, we believe the future of Mukono is going to be brighter, because now, for starters, like I've said, we have begun with schools. We're looking at primary and secondary. We had schools like Our Lady, we had schools like Namiriango College, we had schools like Global, Cornerstone, Katikolo, primary, and then both public and private. So we believe students are good change agents to disseminate the gospel. I have seen that Namiriango junior boys and girls, they have put on their platform. It means the message is reaching out to a bigger audience, and we are excited that the future is going to be good in that space. Then also, in terms of infrastructure, Mukono, we had over 6 kilometers of tarmac. Now we are yet to acquire about 18 kilometers of tarmac. Of course, the future is going to be a bit brighter, and we know government of Uganda has planned the express, another southern bypass, that is also going to feed into Mukono. The standard gauge is also going to feed into Mukono. So we believe with Namavi also infrastructure program happening right now under the UIA development, it is more or less in the final stages. So we believe if this infrastructure is done, we believe transportation of goods and access to the market is also going to be improved. Jobs will be created. We also plan to have a market within our Kame Valley market is also going to be constructed, and we're working on relocation of the vendors so that people can go in. So it will be good for people to settle in Mukono and also work in Mukono and develop their business. And we believe in the future, Mukono is going to be a place of opportunities for both the residents and also the people that are interested in it.
All right, so that is a promising future for Mukono as a municipality. But let's come back to the Kampala Metropolitan Area Urban Development Program. There's a question that lingers amongst other municipalities as to why Mukono was singled out as the pilot municipality for this project. What is so unique about Mukono? What has been the contribution of Mukono to, you know, the greater country's socio-economic growth?
What I would say is, first of all, the need and being able to display our need, show our need to the decision makers, and also planning. We work day and night to ensure that most of the things are presented, and then the data is also well articulated to say that if you address the needs of Mukono, you will be contributing to the local economy and the national economy at large. Now, if you have over 300 industries settled within Mukono, and the next place you will find most of those industries will be Kampala. And you will see even the industries that are within Kampala have a footprint in Mukono. They are shifting their headquarters into Namavi Industrial Park. So it makes a lot of sense if you develop infrastructure and create connectivity and being able to provide the services to those people, because we believe the private sector is the engine of our economy. So we believe government was wise enough to say that at least let's start with Mukono and Chira to be able to create the ripple effect.
Speaking of services, what are some of those public services that you feel the people of Mukono are underutilizing, and what's the traction for them to actually then utilize them?
Number one service is education. We believe Mukono has the good environment to develop education services. The other one is the tourism. You remember, if you are relying on ecosystem-based tourism, if you want to go to Lake Victoria, source of the Nile, you'll use Mukono as a link from Kampala to Jinja. You'll use Mukono as a route. If you want to develop cultural tourism, Namugongo, it is shared, it is Chira. But of course, if you want to access, you are coming from the eastern part of the country, you go through Mukono and then connect to Namugongo. If you want to join Kampala and from the other side as well, if you want to go to the seat of Buganda Kingdom, you'll go through Mukono. And there are also unique areas within Mukono because Mukono is the home for Stanislas Mugwanya, which is who is one of the legends for Buganda Kingdom. And you know what it means if you mention some of those legends. And then also we believe surveying, the source of the reference point for surveying is also within Mukono at Mokasa. So there are quite a number of things that people can derive at. Right now, we, as Mukono, we have the inland container depot for railway transport. If you are loading your containers from Mombasa and bring them to Kampala, Chetume, which is part of Mukono, is where containers using railway transport are leading to. And even right now, transport, the railway transport for passengers, the train stops in Mukono, that is Namomira. So I think those are services that people can take advantage of and then be able to develop themselves.
Okay. What strategies are you adopting as a municipality to be able to attract a productive population?
Of course, the number one is to build capacity, that is create the job spaces, unique job spaces, support them to build their capacity to be able to attract those jobs that are good. Because if you have an investment of over $20 million US within the industrial park, then expect people to work in at the different levels. Instead of you going in for casuals, you'd go in at managerial level. So develop that workforce that is able to meet the task at that level. The other one is also create good housing facilities around the job centers. Then the other one is create mobility. People should be able to move to workplaces and then also get health services also cleared, because instead of people moving across case clinic going to Mulago, they should find the health facilities within where they are living and where they're working good and to meet their needs. If somebody needs treatment, instead of getting into the traffic and waiting in the lines, they should just go within Mukono to access the services. And we are beginning to see such things developed within Mukono and meeting the needs of our people.
Okay. I would also want to hear about the physical planning as far as Mukono municipality is concerned, because I think we are tired of seeing a bar here, a school next door, an industry thereafter, and then a medical facility.
Yeah, I think I would say as Mukono, we are wise to say that our first investment is to develop, to invest in the physical development plan. Because I think by and large we have seen that sometimes development supersedes planning. So if you have a physical development plan, then you also develop a detailed plan. It means you will be able to guide development. You say, instead of you developing your industrial area here, we have zoned all industries are supposed to be in this location. Instead of somebody saying, I am putting a school here near a hospital, near an industrial area, maybe a maize milling facility, we say, please, this is where we have put all maize milling activities. So instead of you antagonizing patients who are living in this hospital, shift into this, you live in harmony with your colleagues who are generating and promoting activities of the same type. So we feel the physical development plan is going to be a very good tool to do environmental management, at the same time also guide our people so that there is tranquility within the municipality. All right,
George William, as we are coming to the close of this conversation, what would be your call to action from the municipal, status, but also to the people that are enjoying the services of Mukono?
Number one, I would think the people of Mukono, I want to appreciate you for so far what you've done, but I want to invite you also as well as to pay your fair share of your taxes. We are collecting these taxes to ensure that we provide good services. There are taxes for property rates. If your area was valued and assessed, please and our agents come to you, please endeavor to pay the taxes. We pay taxes through our divisions, where there are finance officers who can help you navigate through the process of paying taxes. The other one is, please, at this time, avoid dumping haphazardly of waste, because we want to keep our town clean, our municipality clean, to be among the cleanest towns in Africa. That is our strategy, and please, it is you, the residents of Mukono, to help us achieve that.
Okay.
The other one is, I also want to say, we are looking at partners that can support us. If you know of any partner, we have several spaces that we are open to invite those partners to work together with Develop Mukono to be the best city in Africa.
Okay. All right. That is George William Masengere, Senior Environment Officer with Mukono Municipality. That, of course, is the flagship of the Kampala Metropolitan Area Urban Development Program. Brings us to the end of the conversation. But as I speak, in the studio, we've just had a walk-in from Gilbert Olano, MP Kilak South, and, of course, Daniel Barirete, who is coordinator for the Bararo in Northern Uganda.